Chapter 6 Worksheet and Adjusting Entries for a Service Business. 6.2 Planning Adjusting Entries on a Worksheet. Let's take a look at the Work Together question, which extends the worksheet from section 6.1. In 6.1, we filled out the trial balances, which is a company's estimates of what things will cost in a month. Now we'll take a look at how to adjust values when the estimates aren't accurate. The textbook question tells us the adjustment information for April 30th. The supplies on hand are actually $75 and the value of the prepaid insurance is $250. In the textbook, look at the example on page 164 to see how to handle the adjustments columns. Under the account title, we find the supplies and the supplies expenses lines. For supplies, we started with $228 and we now have $75 of supplies left. As a result, we didn't really spend $228 on supplies for that month since some of the supplies are left over. To calculate this, we spent $228 on supplies, but we have to subtract $75 on the supplies still left over, and that gives us a difference of $153. Now we look back at our worksheet down to the supplies expense and enter $153 as the surplus credit on line 3. The second part of the supplies adjustment is to put this under the supplies expense as a debit on line 13. This is because we actually only spent $153 on supplies. The question tells us we still have $250 of prepaid insurance. Looking at the worksheet, we can see that the initial amount budgeted was $375. So we subtract the values to get the current value, which is $125 of credit. Taking a look at the worksheet, we can see prepaid insurance on line 5. Under the adjustments, we write down our $125 in the credit column. Again, like with the supplies, we have to also account for this change under the expenses. Looking down at line 13, we see insurance expense. We enter $125 as the insurance expense debit. Now we need to cover the second part of the instructions, which say to total and rule the adjustments column. Going down to the bottom, we need to do the totals just like we did with the trial balance columns. Use the sum command and then adjust the lines. A single dark line above and a double line below. This ends the adjustment columns.